Hello. This is the state of my life right now. No, I don't know about the state, but I don't know if I'm going to have time in the next few days to just sit down for a full session of chatting, like I usually do. So I've decided to take some notes from Simone and Moonlit Journal and do some like little more like daily snippets kind of thing. But today is February 14th. It is Valentine's Day, and my husband so nicely gifted me a beautiful bouquet of colorful flowers because he's like, I know you love colorful. So I sketched it here with my, where did it go? This one with my Pro Gear Slim, and I think it's about out of ink. I have my I have my currently inked out because I'm trying to decide, do I want to refill this? Because I have filled a few pens since this, and I'm kind of mad at myself because in my journal, I didn't save an extra page like I have in the past because my plan was to not ink any more pens. So go me. I also, since my video, have added one, two, three, four more inks into my new inks for February, but like these ones came before all of these, and this one was an impulse buy. And I had this one, I just hadn't put it in my journal. So, I mean, I'm not going crazy like buying, but I still am purchasing. I did purchase pens this week. Yeah, but it's been a few weeks since I purchased pens and I had the stockpile saved up. But this is this is almost out of ink. So all the ink that's left is in the feed. And I'm trying to just write it out, decide, do I want to refill this? I have loved this. It's halfway through the month. So the fact that I have this one and this one to the point where they could be refilled or emptied and cleaned, I feel like that's really good. To have two pens, especially as I'm going through everything. This is really nice. I don't know how I'm feeling. I ended up I was watching Jess over at the Happily Ever After Planner or the Magical Planner. I always forget Jess's name for her site or for her YouTube, but she's got like the Magical Planner or whatnot that I watch. And she had just gotten this pen, and I've had it forever. This was a pen that I got, gosh, 2 or 3 years ago that I was perusing Amazon, and I got it for $10, which this is a normally retails for around $40. And I've never seen it lower than $35, $40 since I got it for $10. And the next day after I'd gotten it, it went back up. And so I didn't think I was ever going to get it. It took a couple months, but it got here. And I inked this up I actually just put a cartridge in it of Sailor Shikiori Miruai because I've never tried it. And I bought a little box of cartridges to try out with one of my orders a couple months ago. And so I threw it in there. I'm actually really enjoying the green because I have pinks and purples, and that's it. And then I also completely spaced that I had this guy sitting in a box that I bought. I bought this months and months and months ago, maybe even a year ago. This is the Sailor Prophet Junior. Well, I cannot talk today, but this is a Sailor Prophet Junior. The Amamoyoi. It actually came with the converter and the ink. So I've had this just sitting in this box, and I decided to finally take it out. It's got the Fude nib, and this is so much fun. I did put Amamoyoi in it, but I didn't put it from the actual like bottle it came with. I used one that I already had. I've had Amamoyoi for a while, so I really like this ink. It's still pretty full, but it came with a bottle, and then I didn't realize when I got it that it came with a bottle, but look at it. It's a baby bottle. So I'm excited about having a baby bottle. And I will say part of me is very glad it's not a full bottle since I already had it. Oh, at one point, I must have not cleaned out a pen because I am seeing shimmer particles on the bottom of my ink bottle. I've never actually seen shimmer come out of my Amamoyoi, but yeah, that's why sometimes I wonder about myself and my pen cleaning capabilities. But I also have had the Amamoyoi for a long time, so I'll deal with it. It's fine. Little shimmer never hurt anyone, right? But yeah, that is one of my conundrums. This honestly has been kind of one of those experiments. Can I last a whole month with just like two colors? I mean, yeah, they are different shades of the same colors, and I would have these inked. But I look back at December and how many pens I had inked, and even the few extra I've added or didn't clean out from my last clean out on my last Sunday clean out. I feel really good about where I am with my pens, even though I don't have just these pens inked, because this is 12. I have more than 12, but I don't have as many as I used to have inked. Because I was looking at my ink journal, I am trying to finish this ink journal, even though I have this new one, because this is good paper and there is a little bit left. And I thought about pulling it out, but I thought, nah, I think I just want to keep going. But this is the pens I had inked in December. So I'm going to show you this. This is one page. I don't know how many fit on the page, but I had this many pens inked in December at some point. And so that was where that's why I wanted to pull back, is because when I look at this is just too many pens, too many inks. And I got overwhelmed and had a really hard time. And I see it looking at it now. It's like, oh, yeah, no wonder you were so overwhelmed. And what I've been doing instead of inking more pens is playing. So I have this ink so this was already there because this was from a while ago. I can't remember when this was from, but this was back in December or January. But I had this ink. I just had this sample, and I've been playing with my samples more. And I took a paintbrush and I put it on a palette. I just took some with a pipette and put it on a palette because I just have a sample of Anacrinina. I haven't put it in a pen yet, but it is really, really pretty, and it was fun to paint with. They also got one of those really cool Browse nibs that Karina has. And so I have been playing with the Browse nibs, and I got this set from Van Ness. I was so excited. I went on Van Ness and saw that they had them. So I placed a small order. Maybe I'll have to talk about that at some point or do like a small video, but I just got a set of 5 of the Browse nibs, and I use them I have this just crappy holder. I don't know if it's crappy. It's just not one of the pretty resin ones, and I want one of those still. I need to talk to Myers and get mine because I meant to, but I've been playing with it. So here's some of the stuff that I've been doing with it, and I'm just really enjoying playing with with a brass nib and playing with inks that I've have samples of, because this is all samples. And so this is all samples that I'm playing with and trying out. I was trying out the way that she does her ink swatch videos, where she has that really cool squiggly. And of course, I got bored really fast and had to do other things too. I am not, what's the word? As meticulous about things as Karina is. I love how meticulous she is. So I love watching her videos, but I'm a little bit more chaotic. And so the way that I was like, I want to play more, but I did this. And these are inks that I've had for a while, and they just sit in my ink sample. I already am looking at this. Robinson Crusoe, I do like, and I've used my sample quite frequently, and there's not that much left. I'm still considering a full bottle, but it does look a lot like Poseidon Green, and I do have a full bottle of that. So I'm holding off on Robinson Crusoe, but I really want to put this in a pen, and I worry because these samples are older. I worry that if I really like this, is it the same? So I need to look up Gray Seas from Robert Oster. I actually should write myself a little note here on this one of these like gross pages. Look up Robert Ostergreasy's to make sure that it's still the same. Look up R.O. Gracie's. Yeah, just so you all know, not all my notebooks are beautiful. Actually, quite a few of them look like this, where they're full of stuff. And I even, when I did that, spilled it on the side. Yeah, I do a lot of just weird things in these notebooks sometimes. And I have like 4 or 5 of these going where they literally are just this. Or you have some really fun sketches in one page and then it's just garbage. And I love it. Like, look at that beautiful swatch of Erebus Crater. I'm excited that it won. I'm really sad that Morning Frost on Mars didn't. I just want to be not sad about Morning Frost on Mars because it was a shimmer additive, but it didn't win. But Polar Nights did. I was so surprised. I was shocked. I like almost cried because I was so excited. But yeah, anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out my Kaveco Sport in Lilac. This is almost empty too. And this one is almost empty. So like it is working. What I'm doing is working and I'm really, I also want to show you this. I'm really excited about this because, so I mentioned in my last one Saturday morning video that I really have been enjoying doing one color and then like a tombow or whatever. Yeah, this was a tombow. And so I did these, but what's really cool is January I had started experimenting and I had just different colors, but then in February it's all for the most part purple and pink, which is fun. This one was that brown, and then I have this still inked up, and this is Kobe's City Museum Gray. I have inked up and I just didn't have room on my February currently inked. But what I really think is fun is that all of my journal entries are going to match my currently inked so that when I go back, I don't have to have the ink on every single page because it's all going to match up with currently inked, because that's something in the past that it hasn't done. And so I have really been enjoying this. I did add a couple colors, so I want to film an update because I added a couple colors and some of them are almost cleaned out. But when you look through this, it is really pretty. And this was all the frosted orchid, and then I just used some colored pencil. So I'm really enjoying this. This was one that I had inked up, the Surubami, and noticing how different that page looks compared to everything else. I definitely want to keep going with these colors because I think that's a lot of fun to have kind of a color scheme going on with it. But yeah, I'm getting towards the end of my current long-term position. I have one more week and then I get a nice little break. So I think I've just been kind of in the mode of I really want to be creative and I'm just enjoying it. So that's basically what's been happening over the last couple weeks. But I have really, really enjoyed this. And it's kind of fun because since the 5th, I think I've got every single day. 7th, let's see, 8th, 9. Oh, I didn't do the 9th. Oh, 9th. Yep, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and then the 14th starts here because this I did this yesterday while I was just playing around. I really like this. So I've been in my journal a lot more, and I love that it's just as pretty here, or like like they match. And that is something I never never thought about before. I never correlated because I would do a currently inked and they would be kind of all over the place. And then halfway through the month, I would get bored. And so there's something about this and doing this that is starting to scratch an itch for me in a different way. I have spent so much time playing with these pens that I have that I didn't really feel the need to order pens for a while. I did end up ordering a couple pens this week, but what's nice is I had the funds and I saved for it and I thought about those pen purchases and I had reasons and kind of thoughts and stories behind it. And then there are a couple pens that I am going to be putting up for sale as soon as I get them cleaned and ready. But yeah, this is how I'm feeling. And I am trying to decide because what I like is if I decide that once this is empty, I ink it up with something else. Same with these two. I could pull a couple of these new kitty ink pots that I've gotten along with this really pretty dream ink that I like. So there's things to think about, especially, but I I have I have switched this out too. I switched this nib to a different nib, and I did ink up a couple different pens, and I do think that maybe I might have to shift my thinking with my currently inked, and maybe I do it like a bi-weekly thing where I just double check and do like, here's what I have, here's what I carried over. But I still love this page and love this setup, and it's really inspiring me. So that's about it for right now. I will be back in another little section. I don't know how long I'm going to do these, make these videos. I want to make them kind of maybe a little bit smaller and a little bit more digestible. Like, here's what's going on today. Here's what I'm thinking about. I have no idea. I'm just experimenting like I like to. I still want to put something here because I hate wasting pages. And so might have to do like a little bit of an experiment. So yeah. Or I could do like, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about. All right. Well, we'll see you later. Today I'm working in my Sterling ink journal. I can't believe I'm already 150 pages into this. So it has 269 pages. I'm finding that I'm really enjoying, and I mentioned this probably in my last one, I'm really enjoying doing at least a daily spread in here. And I inked up Tono and Lim's Courage 16 in my Vanishing point. This is the brushed pink one. I inked it up in here because I wanted to see how close this was to Tono and Lim's Twilight, or Thinking of Lotus, because Thinking of Lotus, I don't know if it's a special edition or not, but it seemed to be really close to this one. And this one, the Courage 16, is one of their standard inks. And sometimes I love shimmer. Like right here, I love this shimmer, if you can see it. And this is Sakura Twilight. So this is not a shimmer in here. The writing isn't, but the shimmer is the Lotus Thoughts or Thinking of Lotus that I love so much. That is not. I don't know if I have. Do I have a recent journal entry where I used it? Is this? No, that's not either. But I was looking here, this one. Okay, so I love this. This would be really good to compare. They are similar, but they are also different. I mean, looking in the camera, you wouldn't be able to tell much of a difference, but then when you do the shimmer is this really pretty pink. And I do love it, and it works really well in any pen. But I just wanted to see because I had a sample of this as well that I got at the same time as Lotus Thoughts or Thinking of Lotus from Van Ness. And I thought, well, I should try this out too, since this is like the month of pink. And I had a pen from yesterday that I was cleaning out. So I thought, okay, let's do this. I haven't used this pen in a while. And I actually wanted to play with how a black nib would look in that. And even though this is silver. I think that looks really, really slick. I don't know why, but I have a couple extra Vanishing Point nibs that I've bought previously to Vanishing Points. So I love the Decimo and the way the Decimo feels in my hand. So I just definitely wanted to use this one. It actually looks really great matching. But what I have found with my Decimos, I want to know other people if they felt it too, or if this has happened to others. Because I have quite a few Decimos and Vanishing Points now because they're one of my favorite pens. But when I first put this in, and I think looking at the way that the cartridges work, because I fill cartridges, like sometimes this, if it's in here all the way down here, the ink gets really dry and it has hard starts, and you can see how light it is. And then after a while, I thought, okay, this is driving me crazy. I need to fix this. So what I did is I shut it, unclicked, and then I shook it vigorously, like shaking it as hard as I could. And that's where this came, and it was really wet, and I just shook it like this. And I don't know if that's right. I don't know, but I know that when I did that, let's see, where is this guy right here. When I did that, it came out super wet, which is really nice comparatively because otherwise I have found that sometimes my Vanishing Points are dry writers. And I really want to know if other people experience that. It's almost as if you have this with a fine nib, it's fine. It is just fine. If a fine or an extra fine, I hate the extra fines, so I don't use them because it's just too thin. I do have an extra fine, but I never use it. But when you have a fine nib, it can keep up. The ink flow can keep up. But I feel like the medium and the broad can't keep up. So then I feel like there's problems with the pen when I think it's just the ink flow. But there you can see it flows really nice now, but I'm not sure. I think I have a couple of other Vanishing Points inked up right now too. And this one, yeah, this one is a medium. If I shake it, this one has Twilight Sakura in it, or Sakura Twilight. So this one as well is now super wet because I just shook it. So I feel like maybe I need to just shake my pens and look like a weirdo before I start them. And then this one has Thinking of Lotus. Yeah, I'm looking like a weirdo shaking my pens. But then it flows really well. And I do want to say that this one did have a broad nib when I first inked it. I do need to film. I think how I'm going to end this today is talking about the inks that I've used and the inks that I haven't used, and just kind of an update on my inks. But this is my medium alloy nib because I want to compare all my nibs and see where I'm feeling. And I like my medium alloys better than I like the Jinhaos, but I don't know where I'm at with everything. So there's those, and that's what I'm feeling right now. But I just gotta say, I still am loving, I want to just kind of almost not even use purples because I have purples inked, but I am really just enjoying how this is looking, where the colors are slightly different. And then they're also in that same family, and it looks so pretty, especially from the last few days. And I love that, like, I'm using my, um, this is my rainbow pencil. I use that, but then I'm just using pinks and reds, and I love the way this looks. And this, okay, I used some Cat Collage Club stickers that I already had printed, but the fact that it's Valentine's Day isn't indicative of anything because I use pink all the time. Like, you can look through, there's more pink and more pink and more pink, and I go through phases of pink a lot. And right there's lots of pink in here. So I'm just a pink fan. There's another pink. Where did it go? See, there's more pink. So I just love pink. And so it's kind of fun because I feel like that is the one thing that this currently inked has done for me, is that I'm using a color that I love, but also it's been I have a thing with buying pink inks, and I've been wanting to do like a pink ink exploration for a long time, but then I get overwhelmed because I have so many pinks, and this is giving me a chance to have a lot of pinks inked. And so I think as I'm going forward and looking at my pens for the rest of the month, that is going to be something that I think about because I definitely want to update my pink inks. But that is everything for this clip. And yeah, I don't know. It's just having fun. I really enjoyed Valentine's Day this year, which is fun. I'm happy. My husband and I just we had a little date night. My mom took the kids and yeah, we just did kind of a thing. We went out to eat. I had kind of a not great restaurant experience, but we still enjoyed spending time together. So there's that. All right. Well, yeah. Okay, so I didn't do this part on camera, mostly because sometimes you just want to do things by yourself, but it's really fun and interesting when you put inks like on a spread together because they all seem like they're going to look so close. And some of them really do, like Billowing Blush and Sailor Mano Azuki. I never would have realized that they were this close in tone and this Tono and Lim's Glamorous Sky as well. I had this inked up, and I will be perfectly honest, I had this inked up last month in the Sailor Tuzu that I got. And so it's empty, but there's still ink in the nib and feed. So I've been just using it. And so it's really, really curious because each one of these goes by 4, and I did these in 7s here, but there was all the ink from the other page. So I just kind of went over here because I wanted to see this. And so it's really interesting to me how these inks can look so different when they are next to another ink because this is Glamorous Sky, and I think I need to at least here because I'm kind of playing with colors that I think might be similar. I've just been doing this. So I'm going to put T and L G S. So I know this is Tono and Lim's Glamorous Skies. Well, but then putting it next to this is Robert Oster's Burgundy Chocolate Notes, putting it next to that makes it so it's just unique. Like it's like you wouldn't think, but this is the thing that I love so much about ink. And what makes it so special is that these colors, if you put them next to each other, they are different. So this is Glamorous Skies. And then if I did Billowing Blush right here, I'm curious how close these two are. And then you have Azuki, which is similar to them, and it's in between them, and they're very similar. And so it's just like, we talk about often, a lot of us, it's going to be different in a fine point nib. But if you're doing anything creative, these colors can be different, but also they are different in a fine point nib. I look at this ink right here and I can see, let me zoom out because I hate how my camera looks when it's zoomed in, but I wish I could show, like it would show up on the camera, but this is a fine knit. Well, it's Sailor Medium, which is a fine, but this is more purple than this one. And I don't know how much it shows on camera, but what really fascinates me is look at Sailor Shikiori's Yozakura, which I always think looks so pink, but you put it with more pinks and it looks really purple. And this is a color theory thing too, because I've taken so many color theory courses over my years as studying art. And when you put colors in different places, the color, it plays off of each other. And so those colors and tones are gonna shift and look different. So it's just fascinating to me because what if I moved Yozakura away from this Dream ink, which is so cool. This Dream ink is so, so, so cool because it has a green shift to it. Like it shifts and shades into green, but it's a pink. I just love that. But what if I put Yozakura next to, so this is, I'm looking here. This is Billowing Blush, then Azuki, and then Glamorous Sky, and then Dream Ink, and that's Yozakura. So that's Yozakura. It looks very purple here too. And right here, it really doesn't fit. But if I put it next here, this Yozakura here, and then I put Azuki after it, it's interesting how much Azuki looks like Yozakura, but they don't. When you're writing with them in the same page, they are different. So I find this all just so fascinating when I'm using my inks. And this is one of the things that just entrances me as an ink enthusiast, just entrances me. But there's also this thing about it that really makes me go, okay, so why do you like this ink over another ink that's very similar? And I know that for some people, the colors that they can pull out are less because they have less, is it rods in their eyes? I'd have to go back and look, but I know like men don't see colors as deep as a lot of women, and it just depends on your eyes. But these two look so similar when you put them next to each other, and yet Azuki is more pink because when you look at it here, it's not as similar. But the thing is that I had Glamorous Sky, which is very similar to Azuki, and Dream Ink. They like if I would have flipped those around, it would have been a much more interesting palette. But then what's also interesting is Kobe Strawberry Chocolate is very similar on here to Lotus Thoughts, but there is a purple. It is very, very subtle, but there is a purple magenta undertone to Tonal and Lim's Lotus Thoughts because I was wondering why I liked it so much because I like strawberry chocolate. Don't get me wrong, I do like strawberry chocolate, and I've mentioned this a few times. It is a very pretty pink, but it's also a very warm toned red leaning pink, and it has brown in it. And so when you put it next to these cool purple tones of pink, it does look different and it does look less pink. But when you put it next to other colors, you can really get the pink out of it, which is interesting to me. In a lineup of pinks, it doesn't look as pink as some of the other ones, especially when you have it right next to J or Bond's Bouquet d'Antan. It goes so much redder and warmer because it is a warm pink. So it's kind of almost in that, I don't know, like Le Bon Aphrodite pink or Taranishi's Opera Rose, but then Taranishi's Opera Rose isn't pink at all. It just has this, it's so just fascinating. Like, this is a fascinating thing to me. So if I were to put this here, and then I was thinking of putting the Dream Ink because I do know that there is, when you look at, this is a paper towel. When you look, there is that really pretty pink, and then it's a brown. That's strawberry chocolate because I was cleaning off my pen. So I'm wondering if I put the Dream Ink next to it, what will happen to the Dream Ink? Because it's just fun. This is a fun thing to do, to play with ink. Also, it gives my paper a really cool border. And so this is kind of where I'm at with, I'm talking about how fun I'm having playing with one color of ink and just seeing all the different colors and tones and properties when I have so many pinks. I mean, this is what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 pinks. And I tell you, it's not even scratching the surface of all the pinks I have. And I honestly wouldn't even consider Burgundy Chocolate Notes a pink, but it's so close to Twilight Sakura that I wanted to compare them. And when you look at them right here, this one is definitely pink and this is more purple leaning. I would compare Robert Oster's Burgundy Chocolate Notes to Sailor Shikiori Hara Hara They are very similar in that aspect as well. It's just so fun. I will say that over and over. It is so fun, but look at how pink this looks when you put it into two put it in between two very desaturated, almost grayish leaning pinks or purple leaning. Now it looks pink, which is interesting. But then if I put it next to this Tono and Limbs Courage 16, so let's try that. I think it's gonna come out where the Courage 16 is much more pink and vibrant, because I feel like this one is closer to uh, Octopus Baroque Erica, which is a magenta, more purple. It has shades to purple. Excuse my sons if you can see that, if you can hear them. They're playing a video game downstairs, but they get so loud with their video games. Now that's Courage. What if I do this? This is gonna make it look how brown it is. Oh, that's Azuki. Whoops. I don't want that one. So that's the problem. I have my Hello Kitty and my rose gold. So they're so close in color too. But this one again this one's more closer. This color is closer to like a Yozakura, where this would be strawberry chocolate. It's amusing because I have strawberry chocolate in this one. And I'm gonna try to kind of get these. This is very wet right now. And I think it's because I do remember fixing the feed up in here. So it would be wetter, but it's almost like too wet. So I might have to swap feeds with a different Kaveco feed, which is fine because I have a lot of Kavecos. But now when this dries, I can already see that this is way warmer, and this is definitely has more purple tone to it, which is exactly why I like Tono and Limbs Lotus Thoughts and Courage 16 more than I like Strawberry Chocolate, because Strawberry Chocolate's undertones are a reddish brown, which is very cool. And then I always thought this Bouquet d'Antan was really close to Strawberry Chocolate, but then I put it next to it. And again, because it's up here too next to it, it is a softer, more baby pink. And I always thought this was more of a red tone. And so I have so many pinks. I get overwhelmed with it. Like I still am having a hard time classifying my pinks and where I want to put them. And this is 12 or 11 or 12 of them. And I know I have more pinks, way more pinks. I mean, I just mentioned the Erica, which is in one of my Twisby diamonds right now. But then, yeah, I wonder what Tono and Limbs Lotus Thoughts looks like next to the Bouquet d'Antan as well. So this one then goes a little bit more red. And so this is kind of where this is the stuff that I do, and I sit and I obsessively do this with colors, which is why for like the last year, when I was looking for Kobe's light rose in a different color or in a different brand, I could not find it. And I still have not found it except for maybe Mittens. But Mittens also has a different look because it's a pigment ink versus not. So then this is really cool because Lotus Thoughts, as it's dried, is more red toned, but it's so similar to Bouquet d'Antan. So that's interesting. But Lotus Thoughts does have that shimmer. So you can see how different. Like look at Strawberry Chocolate compared to here, but then how pink it looks in between those two, and how gray these look. But then this Azuki looks so pink and beautiful next to certain colors. So it really is about color. Like this is a color theory thing. It really is about figuring out what colors you like with what ink and what you're feeling. It's one of those things that I think that makes this so much fun for me, because This, I wonder what it would look like next to another color, the Wind Weaves Begonia, because I put it between like a blue brown with the malt and ginger cookies and a blue green with the Origins of Marsh. So that's another one that I would love to put in a pen and see. But then looking here, I put Rambling Rose in between Billowing Blush and Thinking of Lotus. And I didn't put some of those other ones because I just inked them up. These two, my Twisbies, are in my Twisbies. They're always inked. And I've had Yozakura in here for a long time and Bouquet d'Antan in here for almost as long. But these two are new. This one I did just ink up now. This one is pretty much has been Azuki for months. So I haven't done it in a currently inked. When I first inked this up, it was in a currently inked, but I've had it and I just have been refilling it. I wonder where it's at because I just refilled it again this week. I haven't counted how many times I've refilled it. Maybe I should. But yeah, I just refilled it so it's completely full. The nice thing about Kaweco cartridges or converters is that they aren't as big as my other converters, but and this one I inked when I got it. So those ones aren't. So I guess I've only really added 1, 2, 3 pens to my lineup, and I've emptied. So, well, I will have emptied and cleaned out Billowing Blush and these two by the end of the day today because they are in my to clean pile. So I have kept up on that. So maybe maybe I should put like a little like tip in of the things that I've added at mid-month because that makes way more sense. Like this one I cleaned out. This one I cleaned out, and this one like those ones I will have cleaned out because I used them all. Like they are empty. They are very like I'm surprised that Billowing Blush is still going because it is empty. Like this one I used to completion. So I wanted to refill that one, but I then kind of got into this experiment with pinks. So these are my new pens, and I'll just do a tip in. If you don't know what a tip in is, it means that you'll take like a piece of paper, and I think I'll just take another piece of like this paper, Tomoe River paper, and I will put like it right here, or I could tip it in here, and you use a piece of washi tape, and then it will be like a fold out. I know most people know that, but I wanted to let you know just in case. But it's really, really interesting too, because as the month has gone by, I've always loved this this Tombow, which is like I think 673. It's orchid, but now I'm loving the 817, which is a mauve. This is what I've been reaching for. I actually ended up going to Michael's and grabbing a new one because my tip was ruined from my son using it so much, but I liked it so much that I wanted it, and I've been using it in my journal every day. And so that tells me, it's rather telling how much I'm in love with these shades right here, because I went with this shade rather than like the Kobe Light Rose, which is a fascinating kind of feel as I've kind of shifted. And I feel like we're always shifting and preferring certain inks at certain times. But I wonder if one of the reasons I'm feeling these so much is I want warmth. I am longing for more sun. I am longing for winter to be over just so I can get out and get into my healthy habits again, like walking. I know I can walk in the summer or in the winter, but I have not had time because by the time I get home, it's dark. I don't like walking in the dark. And I leave before it's light. So leaving at 7 in the morning to go to work and then getting home at 5 p.m. from work during the winter in South Dakota is very difficult. So I am just looking forward to being able to walk again because I think that a lot of this will shift again as the seasons change. But this is an interesting palette of pinks that I am liking for the winter months. The warmest of them are these, which is what I'm reaching for more than these. I do reach for Azuki, and I did do Billowing Blush, but of this page, this is the warmest. Very, very fascinating. And so it's something that I guess, I mean, I came to a conclusion at the end of this video, which is fantastic. I came to a conclusion about pinks, and I am still exploring. And I love this whole spread because it just is it's ticking all those little boxes in my brain, but I didn't need to really ink much more up and feel like the pressure of like, okay, here's mid-month. What am I feeling of these inks? No, I am actually organically using pens and finding the ones that I don't know. I think the only one that I'm really not using is the Sailor Mano Fuji, but when you look at it, it's the least pink of all of them. This is more of a bluish purple. And that's interesting. This is all feedback for myself. Yeah, and I still love having this one and this one. This one I've been taking to work, so I have been using it, but that's kind of where I'm at for the mid-month. These two are empty. I love using these Sailor Pro Gear Slims with these 14 karat gold medium nibs. And I'm so tempted to re-ink them, but I wanted to try Dream Ink in this. I wanted this inked. So this one I'm definitely keeping. And I wanted to pull out these two as well. So I think that pulling those out and playing with them, I know Frosted Orchid has to be close to being empty as well. Yeah. Like, so maybe when I have finished Frosted Orchid, I could try a new ink in this one. And then it's kind of like when I do my end of the month, I can look at what's still inked, what I want to keep for the month of March, and then go from there. I just can't believe we're in the middle of March or February already, mid-February, and I'm already talking about my mid inks. I feel like I just did this, the currently inked, and I feel like I just picked them, but I have been using them. And so that feels great. Also, this one, I don't know what happened, but this definitely did dry because this is a lot lighter in writing now because I have been making a point to use this one every day. And I wonder, I think this one is getting close to mid-empty as well. So this is the Twilight. Yeah, so this is over half used, which is crazy when you think about how much this is because this was full at the beginning of the month. My Lotus Thoughts, I did re-ink or refill because I switched it from a broad to a medium alloy because I'm experimenting with nibs. Like there was nothing wrong with the broad. I was enjoying it. I just wanted to try the medium alloy because the whole idea is this a favorite of all time or is it just right now? I don't know. So playing with different pens, and so maybe next month I might retire it for a month or I might put it in another pen. We'll see because I am considering next month doing all kitty ink pot, but that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this stuff. And so I hope that this little segment, let me know if this little segment was an interesting one, if you enjoyed me kind of, it's only been a couple days, I think 2 or 3 days. I think maybe even just 2. I don't completely know when it comes to these. But let me know down in the comments if you liked this kind of little like more snippets like Simone does or Moonlit Journals does, or if you would much rather me try to carve out the time. I'm just trying to like figure out what works best with my schedule. I've been talking with my husband about that because as I'm teaching, I don't want to sit for an hour in the morning and talk at you all. Like I want to talk to you throughout my week much more than I have time to sit in the silence on the weekends or just enjoy my family. And so I'm trying to make whatever works best for me. So even if, I don't know, what am I trying to get at? I have no idea. Like I have to do what works for me. And I think that's what my viewers would say. But is this kind of a fun way for me to do things? Because I am experimenting. Or would you prefer me to do like smaller videos, more frequent? I don't know. I know people really like my long form content. And so it's just trying to figure out, and I can experiment. Obviously, I'll experiment. I say obviously as if you understand that. But yes, I'm going to experiment and keep finding what works for me because finding balance now that I'm back to teaching full time. And I love teaching more than anything. And that is like, out of everything, is number one priority. I just need to figure out what works for me. But I also love my YouTube and I don't want to let it go. So that's everything for today. Let me know what your thoughts are. When you're looking at this, have you thought about trying to pair your inks in a different way? Because look at how I just find this really just interesting how when you have like strawberry chocolate in between Bouquet d'Antan and Lotus Thoughts, it's very different. They look different up here, but then when you put them right next to each other, they're almost un like indistinguishable from each other. Like it's just it's so much fun to do that. And I highly recommend, if you've never played around with putting colors next to each other, to try it because it's a lot of fun. You'll pull out different aspects of your ink or your colors of anything if you do this. And that is one of the reasons that I end up just obsessively trying to pick out inks for the month, because I do things like this. And I pick, oh, I really like this green and I really like this blue and this purple, but they don't look good together. Oh man, how can I make this palette work? And that's what a lot of this is. And so exploring one color really tells me, okay, this is why I like this color. But if I were to put this with a different color, like if I was to put this with a certain brown or a certain pink or a certain blue, like how would it work and how would it play? But I like these all together in for different reasons. Anyway, that's just everything. So yeah, that's my day. That's how I'm feeling. If you made it this far and you don't have any fun comments to say and you want to leave me something, I had you leave a flower emoji last time. Maybe leave me, my favorite. Leave me one of my favorite emojis, which is the purple heart. So I'd love to see that. And like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, comment all the things, chat with me about how your month's going, you know, and share this video if you so want to, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, also, if you see this, I know I have other colors in this palette, but if you see one and you're like, I'd love to see it next to some of these, please let me know, because I am happy to do more pink explorations. It's almost as if pink is one of my two favorite colors. I don't know. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.